at the moment. Team Picnic Post NL put the shoulders to the wheel, and judging by the bandages, I think it's fair to say we're looking at Fritz Biesterboss.
Yep, definitely Biesterboss. He went down heavily, fell over that sort of raised gutter, that curbing that we saw when a couple of other riders sort of clashed, and he ended up being the victim of that as they swung across. He just had nowhere else to go, and sort of a little bit of semi-calm restored. A rider from Bahrain Victorious there in the background, just off into the dirt briefly, bunny hopping his way back on. A number of riders also here representing the Modern Adventure Pro Cycling, the American squad, a new squad this year. Team principal George Hincapie, and one of the director sportifs who's at the race is Bobby Julich. So as best they can, because he is their man for a general classification tilt.
Yeah, Jaco AlUla, of course, huge pressure on the Australian registered team, but it's obviously a squad that has sponsorship from this region, which is the subject.
The gap doesn't look like much, and it was saying at the time 9 seconds, but as soon as you try and go, you find yourself just getting battered in the face by that wind, and discovering that, oh, they are really riding fast at the front. There's a couple of riders actually.
Has at least 2 teammates.
Yeah, they've really split this now, gone half road, and that has got rid of a whole bunch of riders out of this group. So you can see this team seem to be constantly Bahrain Victorious getting across to the left gutter, only using half of the road. What they also are trying to avoid, you can see the way the riders are flicking through that yellow line to miss that.
Gap out to 20 seconds. Difficult moment. Fretton has missed the boat. Here is that Milan Fretton's in the white jersey. He's in Group 2 at the moment. He's the man who finished second yesterday. Going to finish second again unless something changes. And changes. All guns are blazing.
Yeah, look close. Fabien Grelier from Total Energy had managed to hold himself in this front group as well. He was just riding on the back of that double chain of riders.
Fernando Gaviria, one of the riders that dropped out of that first part of the peloton as well. Disappointment for the Colombian rider. Great form yesterday, made it into the lead move. Up there right now. Son of the owner. And in that lead group, just riding through in the line in front of the overall race leader. Timothy Young, second day in a row, has managed to make it in. That's very solid work indeed.
Kamil Gradek is also there for Bahrain Victorious. This is Gianmarco Garofoli, so one of the pure climbers from Soudal Quickstep, and he'll be seeing himself as a big chance for the overall, and done well to keep himself up in this group. Another one, Fritz Biesterboss, the man we talked about earlier, riding as a domestique, still here.
Rider from Leeds in Yorkshire, down at the back of this group on the left-hand side. He'll be relieved. Didn't lose any significant time yesterday. He's 25th overall at 21 seconds.
Their life in this front group, they were just jettisoned off the back of this group, still fighting on, just making their way back on, and they'll be hoping for a moment of respite, but it's just not coming.
Sensible thing, having scored maximum points at the
just further up the road on the left-hand side. The more the wind blows, the more the sand is kicked up, and the harder they are to see. So you get out of sight, out of mind a little bit earlier. But Lidl Trek taking responsibility now, just setting tempo on the front of the bunch.
So usual patterns yesterday, so he's a bit of a GC threat, such as he is, but from the Modern Adventure Pro Cycling team, just
crosswind action, and a couple of tough stages down in Limburg around the what's known as the Amstel Gold area, the Dutch mountains.
Present in this main peloton at the moment, not aware of anyone else. Interesting that the Tudor Pro Cycling squad have decided to put a rider into the chase of those 2 riders out front. We've got this 2-rider combination of...
Well, this is the sort of section that is going to push the peloton to start riding faster, that sort of competition to be in front, to be in control. When they notice the sharp left coming up, they're approaching the circuit. There's a number of hairpin turns on the circuit itself, and you see them all spread across the road. Now all of that has got to fit into this narrow, sharp left-hander. There's the turn. and some are forced to go in the breaks. Things will line out a lot more. But that's what from the UAE Team Emirates. A number of riders from different teams. Sudal Quickstep, also Tudor Pro Cycling. They're willing to push on pretty hard. I'm looking through their list, and there's nobody jumping out of that team list for Tudor Pro Cycling that I think, oh, well, there's the obvious sprinter. I'm sure they do have someone in mind. Maybe Sebastian Kolze.
Two riders out front are ex-teammates, actually. Stefan de Bod, after they'll know their relative strengths, and they will have spotted the opportunity. No doubt there might have been a little bit of a shout between them, or certainly just a sense that when you see a familiar face heading off up front, you think, well, that's an excellent idea. I know what he's about. De Bod, second in line here. Former African Continental individual time trial champion back in 2019. He's 29 years of age now, from Worcester in South Africa. Matthias Bregenhoy to stay on the bite that they're used to.
This is that final bend around to the finish on the inside corner of a roundabout, out of the very first exit when they swing in. Nice and wide, but it's a long sweeping right-hander before they straighten up towards the finish. This is the exact finish where we saw Tim Merlier win last year.
Yeah, Casper van Uden a couple of years ago, as we it's just under, as you can see, 500 meters that right turn, key positioning point. First look at it, no mystery at all as far as Jonathan Milan is concerned. He's a big unit, but he thinks that little bit of extra weight is, he doesn't want to carry that all the way to the finish line. Everything counts in large amounts, especially when there's a psychological implication. Chase group behind, and is this Fretta? Yes, yeah. No, it's the yeah, lead group, of course. Tudor Pro Cycling. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I just looked down at my notes. Yeah. So Tudor Pro Cycling very invested in keeping things organised, keeping it all together and keeping the chain tight and making sure that no one gets too easy a ride through to the finish line. No mystery at all as far as Jonathan Milan is concerned. He's a big unit, but he thinks that little bit of extra weight is, he doesn't want to carry that all the way to the finish line. Everything counts in large amounts, especially when there's a psychological implication. Chase group behind, and is this Fretta? Yes, yeah. No, it's the yeah, lead group, of course. Tudor Pro Cycling. Yes, yeah. Sorry, I just looked down at my notes. Yeah. So Tudor Pro Cycling very invested in keeping things organised, keeping it all together and keeping the chain tight and making sure that no one gets too easy a ride through to the finish line. Enough, Bjorn Kurt takes a bonus second. Everything counts in large amounts in a short stage race, doesn't it? So well worth a little bit of an effort there for the Team Picnic Post NL rider from Leeds to try and move up and pinch a bonus second. So he stays 18 seconds ahead of Kristen. The rest of the GC favourites 17 seconds in front of Kristen, who still has work to do to make up the deficit. He's got climbing opportunities tomorrow, and most particularly on the final stage on Saturday. Inside 8 to go. Still no one wants to fire too soon. Everybody content and happy with the work being done by the riders on the front. Tudor Pro Cycling own it at the moment, and well, is it
team of Pinarello for Moschetti. They put Moschetti onto the wheel of Milan. He's there in the red jersey. Now there's going to be this big U-turn. This is a critical point. Big U-turn, got to come out in the first 10. Managing to do that. Milan is there. 1 kilometre of racing to go. He goes straight down and then a right-hander into the finish line. And we see now Lidl-Trek right on the front. I've heard there's a crash of Riley Pickerel of the team of Modern Adventure, who's touched a wheel or something. 740 metres of racing to go. It's the team of Lidl-Trek still with Milan. They're in the red jersey. Now there's going to be this big U-turn. This is a critical point. Big U-turn, got to come out in the first 10. Managing to do that. Milan is there. 1 kilometre of racing to go. He goes straight down and then a right-hander into the finish line. And we see now Lidl-Trek right on the front. I've heard there's a crash of Riley Pickerel of the team of Modern Adventure, who's touched a wheel or something. 740 metres of racing to go. It's the team of Lidl-Trek still with Milan. Moschetti's getting ready to pounce. Frettin is there in the white jersey. 500 metres of racing to go now on stage 2 of the AlUla Tour. Simone Consoni has his Olympic compatriot locked in and ready, and they're gonna fire now for the finish line. Big move of Moschetti. Milan, Frettin is still there, and here goes Johnny Milan looking for 2 wins out of 2. Real powerful finish. No one's going to get anywhere close. It's 2 from 2 for Johnny Milan. No one got a look in. Here's the general classification outlook. Milan will take 10-second time bonus. It means he's now 14 seconds ahead of Frettin. Moschetti in 3rd place. There's the move of all those riders. Marca into 8th, De Jong into 6th, Gaviria into 5th. But tomorrow will look very different with that final climb.